Have you ever wanted to show something interesting but you didn't know how to do that in a good way? I did. For example, it was difficult for me to show my final projects from all sides in one video. So you are lucky today because I want to present you a thing that can solve this problem. It's called a rotating platform. Basically, its name describes what it does. You just put an object on it and the platform starts rotating your item. You can find the same device in some stores. It looks really nice when they use it to show their goods. I checked my local stores and discovered that their price ranges from $20 to $30. Of course, buying this thing is much simpler and it isn't that expensive, but if you know how it works, you can create your own design, select color, customize its appearance or add borders. When you are a creator, you can do everything. Blender is a simple and reliable software that can be used as a prototyping tool. Designing in Blender helps to understand what the final result should look like and where all main components should be placed. My 3D printer has a little limitation. It can't handle two big projects, so I decided to make my platform around 20 cm in diameter. That should be enough. For this simple project we need one small motor with a controller for it, because I don't want to use my Arduino and write a program to control rotation. The power supply will be external, but if needed I will have enough space to put it inside at any time. I was wondering whether I really need a bearing or if I can just cover the plastic with lubricant. This could make the device cheaper. That design is more difficult to print, but it's possible though. In the end, laziness won. I decided to use a bearing for simplicity. I started with the main part, which is going to serve as a platform for objects. And then I met another design problem. There are many types of gear, but I had to choose between only 3 commonly used options: internal, spur and bevel gear. Each type can be used, but I wanted to select the simplest solution for this tiny device. The last 2 options were the most attractive to me, but in the end I decided to use bevel gears as they allow me to mount my motor in a horizontal direction. It can help to manage wires later. Of course, there were bugs in Fusion 360. For example, I couldn't merge 2 bodies together and hence print one single part without using the STL file. That was an issue for me because I use .3mf file type to store and transfer the entire project at once. All good printing process. What can be better than spending your time watching for this machine? And when you decide to go somewhere, it fails immediately after you leave your room. My first attempt started well, but failed in about 20 minutes. The printer just got a jam. So, well, shit happens from time to time. But after some hard times, I received pretty good models of fine quality that fit perfectly. When I think about that, they have the correct sizes from the first attempt. Usually I have to adjust and print 2 or 3 times to get everything together. After cleaning all the parts, I started assembling, soldering, gluing and connecting. Some of you will say that gluing everything together isn't the best choice, and you will be right. I just don't want to spend too much time designing the thing in a proper way, as my planning doesn't include disassembling at all. So gluing is just fine in this case. It seems that it doesn't really need legs at all, they can cause sliding, so I decided to throw them away. I like the smell of acrylic. Oh, you are here! Did I say it out loud? I mean that after painting, the thing is finally ready to be tested. And I definitely don't like the smell of acrylic painting, and you shouldn't too. Of course, I understand that you would rather want to see how it works than to watch how I paint this top platform, wouldn't you? But this painting process looks so satisfying, like these manufacturing videos on the internet. No? Not satisfying? Okay, let's move on.
and we create this video for day.
What does
and,
it mean? We.
And
What does it mean?
we end
What do you-
this. Goodbye. Thank you.